Hello there, Homeschool Nolan here to help you navigate learning in the digital age. Today I'd like to talk about the most famous debate in American history. That is the Lincoln-Douglas debates and why they still matter today. If you follow the news, you may get the impression that our children are now growing up in a country more divided than ever. Americans seem divided on how our democracy and our Constitution should settle some of the biggest issues of the day. And that's why I suggest we take a look back at the debates between Abraham Lincoln and Stephen Douglas in 1858 for some inspiration and guidance. Now, while some may remember those debates as simply being over slavery, they were much more than that. The Lincoln-Douglas debates were really about democracy, the Constitution, and the founding principles of the United States. And while the issue of slavery in the United States has seemingly since been settled, the arguments put forth by both men still have great relevance to the issues we are debating today. First, what exactly were the Lincoln-Douglas debates? The Lincoln-Douglas debates were a series of 7 debates held across the state of Illinois in the year 1858 between 2 candidates for the U.S. Senate, a rising star named Abraham Lincoln and the incumbent senator from Illinois, Stephen Douglas. The great issue that year, of course, was slavery. A couple months before the debates, though, Lincoln had delivered a famous House Divided speech in which he said, "A house divided against itself cannot stand. I believe this government cannot endure permanently half slave and half free. I do not expect the Union to be dissolved. I do not expect the house to fall. But I do expect it will cease to be divided. It will become all one thing or all the other." Lincoln's words proved somewhat prophetic, as the United States did plunge into civil war just 3 years later with him as president. It took a brutal, bloody civil war lasting 4 years to finally end the nation's division over slavery. But right after that speech, during the debates, Douglas denounced Lincoln for suggesting that the country might have to go to war over slavery. He pointed out that the United States until then had peacefully existed as a divided country for 70 years, and there was no reason it couldn't continue to do so. When we look back at Lincoln's House Divided speech, we can ask ourselves, what issue today could be so great that we could no longer be peacefully divided? Are there issues today that cannot be resolved by democratic or constitutional processes? It was a question that was at the heart of the debates between the 2 men. Abraham Lincoln, as a candidate for the newly formed Republican Party, opposed the expansion of slavery. Stephen Douglas, on the other side, was a Northern Democrat. Unlike Southern Democrats who forcefully defended slavery, Douglas himself did not own any slaves, and he did not express any real moral conviction over slavery. He instead was a champion of the idea of popular sovereignty. That is, giving each state the authority to democratically vote up or down on the issue of slavery. The idea of popular sovereignty over slavery had been ripping the country apart since the year 1854, when Congress, under Stephen Douglas's leadership, passed the Kansas-Nebraska Act of 1854, which gave the people living in the new Kansas-Nebraska territory the right to decide by popular democratic vote whether slavery should be allowed in the territory. Now, the idea of deciding issues through popular vote sounds pretty American and fair and just, at least most of the time. But abolitionists and anti-slavery voices like Lincoln argued against popular sovereignty on the grounds that slavery was morally wrong and violated the founding principle that all men are created equal. Lincoln argued that all men have certain unalienable natural rights, and no state, therefore, had the right, through a democratic majority, to take away those certain natural rights. Now, to complicate the issue further, there is also the infamous Dred Scott decision in the background. In 1857, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that a slave was still a slave even if he ventured into a state or territory that did not allow slavery. This naturally led to the question, is the issue of slavery decided by popular vote or by the Supreme Court? Lincoln famously challenged Douglas to answer this question in the second debate at Freeport, Illinois, where he asked, "Can the people of the United States territory in any lawful way, against the wishes of any citizens of the United States, exclude slavery from its limits prior to the formation of a state constitution?" In other words, which should take precedent when it comes to slavery, the people or the courts? Douglas responded by arguing that regardless of what the courts ruled, it wouldn't practically matter if it contradicted the popular will of the people. Now, it's easy to dismiss Stephen Douglas today as having been on the wrong side of slavery and of history. But the question of whether a controversial and divisive issue should be decided by popular vote or by the courts is a question we still ask today. And that's one reason why the Lincoln-Douglas debates still matter today. The Lincoln-Douglas debates raised another important subject which we still talk about today, and that is the subject of equality. Stephen Douglas didn't believe that the words, "all men are created equal," applied to blacks. Lincoln, of course, did, and he used the Declaration of Independence as the foundation as to why slavery was incompatible with the founding principles of the United States. But Lincoln also said some things that would be considered blatantly racist today. In the fourth debate, in response to being accused of being in favor of political and social equality of blacks, Lincoln said, "I will say then that I am not, nor have ever been, in favor of bringing about in any way the social and political equality of the white and black races, that I am not, nor have ever been in favor of making voters or jurors of Negroes, nor qualifying them to hold office, nor to intermarry with white people. And I will say in addition to this, that there's a physical difference between the white and black races, which I believe will forever forbid the two races living together on terms of social and political equality." Now, admirers of Abraham Lincoln may certainly feel shocked that he actually said these words. Perhaps he was just shamelessly pandering for votes in a time when the majority of voters were racist against blacks. Regardless of what Lincoln really felt in his heart at that time, his and Stephen Douglas's statements on equality force us to ask ourselves the question, what does equality really mean? What does it mean that all men are created equal? Does it mean we should all have equal civil rights or only natural rights like life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? And what's the difference between the two? Americans are still talking about equality today, and studying the Lincoln-Douglas debates is a great way to help us rethink the meaning of equality. And finally, the Lincoln-Douglas debates also help us rethink the issue of slavery itself. After all, slavery was the issue facing the country in the 1850s. Now, because of our history, Americans tend to associate slavery with racism. But slavery can happen between people of any color. In fact, in the final debate, Lincoln boiled down the essence of slavery into these words: "You work and toil and earn bread, and I'll eat." Lincoln summed up slavery as the act of unjustly taking the fruits of someone else's labor for your own. Now, if we agree with that, then the issue of slavery definitely hasn't gone away in today's world, and the debates between Lincoln and Douglas over slavery are still more relevant than ever. If you're looking for a good book on the Lincoln-Douglas debates, I recommend this book, Lincoln and Douglas, The Debates That Defined America by Professor Alan Gelzo. For kids, I found this book from the library from the We the People series, simply titled The Lincoln-Douglas Debates by Michael Bergen. Now, although Lincoln ended up losing the Senate race in 1858, the Lincoln-Douglas debates propelled him to national prominence, which led to his election as president just 2 years later in 1860. The debates are also an example of how defeat and disappointment can sometimes lead to something greater later on. And that's just one more reason why the Lincoln-Douglas debates are worth studying. And I hope you enjoy studying these debates as much as I have. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.